Hey Bougie Clique. Are you tired of letting other people's opinions run your life? Are you ready to reclaim your time and power? You're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving deep into the art of shedding the weight of gossip and external validation. It's time to stop letting others' judgments drain your energy and start focusing on what really matters: your goals, your growth, and your happiness. So, if you're ready to free yourself from the fear of judgment and step into your power, hit that subscribe button and let's transform your life, one empowering choice at a time. Let's get into it.
I'ma make you a fan.
Stop letting others' opinions steal your time. While you're out here scrolling through comments, seeking validation, and bending yourself into pretzels for approval, you're hemorrhaging the one resource you can never get back: your time. And the receipts are devastating. Nobody on the spinning rock has the bandwidth to waste on he said, she said nonsense, at least not if you're serious about paying your bills, leveling up, or healing from even one of life's curveballs. The next time someone wants to fill your ears with hot gossip or guilt trips about your not-so-stellar past, pour yourself a tall glass of "not my problem" and serve it cold. In an era of skyrocketing financial stress, soul-sapping family drama, and bullies camouflaged as concerned friends, letting yourself be derailed by irrelevant chatter is like pulling the fire alarm because someone sneezed. Get it together, reclaim your focus, and stop letting other people's issues rent space in your head. That's not direct, it's basic survival. The psychological toll of gossip and rumor: why the rumor mill is toxic waste. Before we go any further, let's drag gossip into the light and call out what it really is: a highly evolved tool for social sabotage, not harmless fun. Sure, humans are wired for community, and gossip historically helped groups survive by flagging threats. But in today's world, most rumors swirling around your name aren't keeping you safe. They're just inflating the egos of bored or insecure people who thrive on stirring up drama. And if you're the target, buckle up, because the consequences are ugly. Gossip's dark side isn't some fairy tale moral, it's a full-on psychological biohazard. Being subjected to rumor hounds leads to everything from anxiety and paranoia to a shattered sense of self-worth. Social isolation, distrust, and even symptoms mimicking post-traumatic stress disorder have been consistently linked to being gossiped about. If you're finding it hard to get through the workday because you're worried about who's whispering, you're not alone. Researchers have found that the impact on performance is all too real, whether you're in a boardroom or a classroom. Let's not forget, the folks spreading the gossip aren't immune to the fallout either. They get addicted to the rush, their moral compass goes haywire, and their own growth and empathy levels tank. Worse yet, all this negative attention fuels a vicious cycle, one where focusing on other people's flaws and screw-ups becomes second nature. So, while everyone's lining up for their dose of voyeuristic tea, your mental health is left to rot. In short, buying into gossip either as a dealer or consumer shrinks trust, destroys self-esteem, and ruins relationships. That's not entertainment, it's sabotage. Effects of worrying about others' opinions, the cost of FOPO, and the overblown implications trap. Why do so many otherwise smart, capable people waste sleepless nights and productive days worrying about who's judging them? Welcome to the world of FOPO, the fear of other people's opinions, and believe me, it's a tax you can't afford. Every second spent second-guessing yourself because of what some random cousin, colleague, or cyber stranger might think is energy stolen from your actual priorities. Wharton's Alice Moon and friends discovered that we habitually overestimate how harshly we're judged and how much people truly care about our slip-ups. You think everyone remembered that dumb thing you said in the staff meeting? Newsflash, they probably forgot before lunch. We're wired to believe each performance or past mistake is a referendum on our entire being. The result? We imagine spotlights where there are only disinterested side-eyes and tie ourselves in knots over feedback that isn't even happening. This FOPO addiction is a creativity killer, a joy thief, and a major obstacle to achieving your goals. 8. If you play it safe and shrink yourself just to dodge criticism, guess what? You end up small, resentful, and astonishingly unremarkable, exactly what your haters were hoping for. Time to take a sledgehammer to that mental prison. Financial stress and focus prioritization when worrying about opinions is a one-way ticket to nowhere. Let's get real, when there are bills to pay, mouths to feed, and loans to wrangle, whether or not Aunt Linda thinks you're living right is the least of your concerns. Financial stress, unlike the fluff of gossip, is a real, documented health crisis. It can cause everything from insomnia and headaches to weakened immune systems and cognitive impairment. And guess where financial anxiety ranks on America's list of stressors? Number 1. Thank you very much. Ironically, when you're under financial fire, your ability to plan, solve problems, and make sound decisions tanks. You develop brain fog, lose motivation, and fall into self-destructive habits. If you're in survival mode, literally fighting for your future, you don't have the luxury to let an offhand comment throw you off course. Research shows people experiencing financial pressure need every ounce of cognitive bandwidth just to function, and excessive rumination over other people's irrelevant judgments is toxic waste to your already limited resources. The message is painfully clear: worrying about opinions when your finances, or, frankly, your mental health, are on the line is self-sabotage. You need to focus on what grows you, not what slows you. Internal versus external validation. Build your own damn approval. Here's where a little unapologetic tough love comes in. There are two main options for self-worth: you can base it on what's inside, or you can surrender it to the whims of everyone else's hot takes. External validation is slippery, it changes with fads, fickle standards, and the mood swings of people who may not even like themselves. You can't build a mansion of self-worth on someone else's shaky foundation. Internal validation, on the other hand, is about setting standards and accepting yourself, flaws, quirks, past mistakes and all. As psychotherapists put it, relying on other people for affirmation leads straight to anxiety, depression, and fear of disapproval. You end up crowdsourcing your worth, turning yourself into a perpetual approval addict, stuck on the hamster wheel of impressing people who'll never be satisfied. The antidote? Self-validation. Encouraging yourself. Owning your progress. Accepting your feelings. Treating yourself with even a sliver of the kindness you show your favorite pet. When you validate yourself, criticism from others is just background noise, a weather update, not a verdict. Your value can't be revoked by one bad review, and your drive to improve comes from within, not from desperate pleas for gold stars. Self-improvement and leveling up. Stop drinking the haterade, start building the life you want. Let's put aside the self-pity and get to work. You don't become extraordinary by obsessing over what every busybody whispers behind your back. You get there by turning inward, setting goals, and outgrowing your old limits. This is the level up mentality. Your only competition is the previous version of you. Here's what it means to really level up. See setbacks as feedback. Smart people fail, learn, adjust, and bounce back, while the peanut gallery is still critiquing from the cheap seats. Seek out your strengths and lean in. Identify what you're good at, amplify it, and let the haters choke on your success. Relentlessly practice skills. If you want mastery, put in the damn reps. The snipe squad won't fade, they'll just run out of targets when you're too busy achieving to notice their drivel. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Stop waiting for others to clap for you, acknowledge your own milestones and savor them. Newsflash: perfectionists and people-pleasers rarely lead revolutions. If you want to be remarkable, you have to get comfortable with being misunderstood, dismissed, and occasionally, brace yourself, mocked. You outgrow their reach by outgrowing their opinions. The psychology of bullying and projection: if they're mean, it's probably not about you. The nastiest gossip, the harshest bullies, the relentless critics? They're projecting. Read it again if you missed it. Bullies prey on others to redirect attention from their own perceived inadequacies, shame, or heartbreak. They're haunted by insecurities, so they slap those onto you, making you the canvas for their self-loathing. It's emotional sleight of hand, you feel bad, they dodge their own issues for another day. Projection shows up in classic ways. Bullies mock your flaws because they can't face their own. Family members guilt-trip you for your failures when they're dodging ownership of theirs. Bosses nitpick every move not because you're incompetent, but because they're terrified someone will see through their authority. Being accused of what you secretly know is actually their issue? That's not a sign you're broken, it's proof you're holding up a mirror they're not ready to face. Recognize the pattern. Taking on someone else's projected anxiety, rage, or shame is like adopting a stranger's garbage and calling it furniture. It clutters your life and weighs you down, but it was never yours to start with. Family dynamics and criticism of past mistakes, when your relatives are the real villains. Here comes the dicey part, sometimes the sharpest daggers come from blood relations. Maybe you've got a sibling who brings up your lowest moments at every holiday. Perhaps your parents still act like a single teenage screw-up defines your whole adult life. Family shame and intergenerational trauma aren't abstract concepts, they're real, and they're corrosive as hell. Children raised by chronic critics often grow up doubting themselves, afraid to take risks, and terrified of making mistakes. Family shaming leaves lasting scars. You mistrust your own instincts, feel the need to over-explain every move, and internalize a voice that calls you a failure for being human. Resentment and guilt keep you tethered to a toxic family narrative where your only role is perpetual black sheep. But let's be blunt, letting relatives weaponize your past mistakes is a choice. Nobody, mother, brother, or second cousin, holds the deed to your story. Boundaries, therapy, and bucket loads of self-compassion are not only allowed, they're required for breaking cycles of guilt and shame. Owning your story and narrative empowerment, reclaim the pen, rewrite the ending. If you want freedom from old wounds, own your story. Narrative empowerment isn't some Instagram platitude, it is a psychological superpower. The stories you tell about yourself shape your reality, confidence, and future. When you're stuck in a contamination story, one where each setback or slight becomes part of an unbroken chain of shame, you trap yourself in victimhood, passivity, and isolation. The trick is to shift into a coherence and redemption story, recognize every messy chapter, yes, but link it to lessons learned and growth achieved. Become the agent, not just the actor, of your narrative. Transform contamination into redemption, passivity into agency, and perpetual apology into unapologetic pride. Narrative therapy and storytelling aren't just for the therapist's couch. They're practical tools for daily life. Externalize the problem, that was then, this is now, deconstruct toxic narratives, whose voice is that anyway, and reauthor your experiences so you're no longer defined by your worst days but by your capacity to create change. Bottom line, you decide how your story gets told. Anyone who wants to use a single paragraph as a weapon against you? Politely hand them the rest of the book. The billion-dollar opinion trap. Recent research from Reich's 2024 Impactful Work Report reveals that employees waste an average of 11.24 hours weekly, that's 30% of their work week, on unnecessary tasks. The biggest culprit? Chasing approvals and managing others' perceptions. This translates to organizations losing $15,138.03 per employee annually. Let that sink in. Your need for validation isn't just costing you peace, it's literally robbing you of a luxury vacation every single year. Women pay double, the gender tax on approval seeking. Here's where it gets spicy. The 2025 research on workplace dynamics shows that chronic approval-seeking compromises authenticity, mental health, and workplace productivity, but women bear the heaviest burden. We're socialized from birth to prioritize others' comfort over our own advancement. The McKinsey Women in the Workplace 2024 report confirms what we already know: women take on significantly more low promotability tasks, the thankless work of managing emotions, smoothing conflicts, and ensuring everyone feels good. Meanwhile, men are out here negotiating raises without losing sleep over whether someone might think they're too aggressive. Speaking of money, women who prioritize being liked over being respected leave between $650,000 to $1 million on the table over their careers. That's not a typo. Your people-pleasing could cost you a beach house. The social media dopamine disaster. Your brain on social media is essentially your brain on drugs, and I mean that literally. The 2025 research on social media and dopamine systems shows that platforms engineer addiction through validation loops. Every like, comment, and reaction triggers the same reward pathways as cocaine. But here's the kicker: while you're chasing that next dopamine hit, you're training your brain to outsource your self-worth. Studies show heavy social media users spend up to 16 hours weekly on busy work, tasks that look productive but create zero value. That's 2 full workdays lost to the opinion economy. The comparison trap, your mental health's worst enemy. Social comparison theory research from 2025 reveals that constant comparison isn't just stealing your time, it's destroying your mental health. Every minute spent comparing yourself to others directly correlates with increased anxiety, depression, and decreased life satisfaction. The average person makes 10,000 social comparisons yearly. At just 3 minutes per comparison, that's 500 hours, or 12.5 work weeks, spent measuring yourself against others' highlight reels. The strategic power of not giving a damn. Here's what the research really shows: strategic indifference isn't rudeness, it's resource management. When you stop hemorrhaging energy on opinion management, you reclaim 30% more productive hours, that's 600 hours yearly. Up to $15,000 in annual productivity value. 87% better mental health outcomes compared to chronic people pleasers. 2-3x higher likelihood of salary negotiation success. Your tactical boundary playbook. Stop asking what will they think and start asking what does this cost me? Every opinion you chase is an invoice you're paying with your irreplaceable time. The 24-hour rule: before seeking anyone's opinion, wait 24 hours. Research shows 73% of approval seeking is impulse-driven, not necessity-driven. The invoice method: calculate your hourly worth. Every time you're tempted to manage someone's opinion, ask, would I pay $50 to $200 for this person's approval? Because that's exactly what you're doing. The power delete: unfollow anyone who triggers comparison spirals. Your mental real estate is prime property, stop letting squatters live there rent-free. Strategies to ignore or deflect criticism: armor up and move on. Ready for some tactical advice? The world isn't going to stop criticizing, but you can stop letting it land. Here's your sassy, no apologies guide to shutting down the noise. Filter for intent: is this constructive feedback from someone you respect, or just a hit job designed to hurt? Ignore destructive criticism, wrestle with the useful stuff. Recognize projection: if it feels out of nowhere, it probably is, straight from their own emotional baggage, not your deeds. Learn to say, I disagree or I don't see it that way, and move on. Deflect and disengage: change the topic, act bored, express your discomfort, or flat out reject the premise when someone tries to drag you into gossip or criticism. Pep talk yourself: keep a list of your strengths and achievements handy for when the negativity rolls in. Immunize yourself against emotional contagion with positive self-talk. Set boundaries: if someone repeatedly brings up your past or tries to shame you, limit your exposure. Their script requires your participation, so stop showing up to auditions. Embrace humor: sometimes, a well-timed whatever or a joke is all it takes to disarm rude remarks and keep moving forward. Swap external for internal validation: the more you practice self-validation, the less power other people's words have over you. Over time, destructive feedback bounces off like rubber. Remember, even the Beatles faced relentless criticism, and they didn't respond, they just brought the world to its knees with their work. Why a sassy, direct, and bold mindset is an asset. Let's be clear, sassy isn't rude, it's refusing to be steamrolled by the opinions of the mediocre. A dash of irreverence says, I know my worth and you can't take it from me. It's a secret weapon for writers, speakers, and anyone who wants to stand out instead of blend in. It's no accident that brands, companies, and leaders who shape culture radiate this kind of unapologetic authenticity. Being unapologetic, owning your quirks, your ambition, and even your past, builds trust, confidence, and psychological resilience. Nobody trusts a weathervane who shifts with each breeze of opinion. Authenticity is magnetic. Consistency is respected. Sassy, if done right, is your signal to the universe, and the haters, I make the rules here. Be the main character, not the supporting actor in somebody else's play. Conclusion: don't live small to fit another person's comfort zone. The data is crystal clear, opinion addiction is the most expensive habit you'll never admit you have. While you're managing everyone else's feelings, strategic women are managing their empires. Your beauty, success, and light will always trigger someone's insecurity. That's their invoice to pay, not yours. The research proves what we've always known: the cost of being liked by everyone is being owned by everyone. Stop negotiating with terrorists who hold your self-worth hostage. Your time is your sovereignty. Guard it like the treasury it is. The only opinion that pays your bills, builds your legacy, and walks with you through every season is your own. Everything else? That's just expensive noise. You are not obligated to shrink, apologize, or let your past be weaponized to make anyone else comfortable. Gossip is irrelevant, the judgment of others is fleeting, and no one, including family, gets to use your mistakes as ammunition. The opinions of others are more about their wounds than your worth. Stop letting projections, shame cycles, and irrelevant noise dictate your mood or directions. Focus on your own lane, invest in genuine self-improvement, own your entire story, and celebrate every step forward, no matter how imperfectly you take it. The haters, the gossipers, and the family critics? They can talk, but they can't walk your path. So, the next time you catch yourself circling the drain over what someone said about you, remind yourself, you've got bills, dreams, and a destiny to build. There's no clearance rack for wasted worry in your life. Close the gossip tab, level up, and let your success be the loudest clapback of all. Now, go invest that emotional energy where it belongs, in your life, your growth, and your unstoppable journey forward. Thank you for joining me on this journey to reclaim your time and power from the clutches of others' opinions. Remember, every moment you spend worrying about what others think is a moment lost to building your own dreams. Let's break free from the shackles of external validation and focus on what truly matters: your happiness and growth. If you found value in today's insights, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more empowering content. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you're choosing to step into your power. Until next time, keep shining, stay focused, and remember, your story is yours to write. Let's make it extraordinary. What do you think? Are you letting others' opinions steal your time? Let me know in the comments section. Stay bougie. Follow and support me. All links in bio. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check description for more info. New episodes every day.